Welcome to a special edition of the Insider Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Mighty Joe, man, we made a little pit stop on our road trip back to Lubbock from Tulsa. You want to break it down for the peeps out there where we ate?
Yeah. This place is called Ishans. It is the oldest bar in Oklahoma, and more important, serves possibly the best fried chicken on the planet.
Whoa,
Jarret,
that's saying a lot.
I said possibly, and Jarret recommended this. Couldn't praise it highly enough, and so yeah, we stopped in. I gave it a shot, and it's out. I would say right now, and I've had a lot of fried chicken. It's the second best fried chicken I've ever had in my life, behind my grandma Yeager, who passed away back in '87. And coincidentally enough, she was born in Boca Chica, Oklahoma. It's a little wide spot, can't be too far from here. So I guess something about these Oklahoma women and fried chicken. And Chris Beard, the great coach. Yeah, he's always talking about these little places to grab some chow and some beef jerky or whatever, you know. Well, he needs to take the team on through here maybe the next time, if they're in, playing in Stillwater or something like that.
Yeah.
If they haven't done so already, because they would just tear it up. They'd have to bring in a few extra chickens for the boys, because it is some good stuff.
And the menu's simple. It's like you get a whole chicken and some fried okra, and and they give you some pickles and onions, and boom, you're good to go.
That's about it.
We probably could have each eaten a couple chickens, but we got to ride in the car with one another. You know what I mean? So we've already experienced that a little bit, so we took it a little easy, but it was delicious. I got to give a shout out to my in-laws, Ann and Dick Gruber, who live here. They're actually Okies. They live in Oklahoma City, and they've taken me here several times, and so I want to give a shout out to them. It's delicious. But to Red Raider basketball, oh man, what a couple performances. As Chris Beard said in the post-game press conference, 80 minutes of just really solid basketball. Joe, just overall, your takeaway from Tulsa. Obviously, they beat Northern Kentucky on Friday, and then they crushed Buffalo, which was really a in vogue pick, I think, to kind of be a Cinderella team. That obviously Chris Beard and the Red Raiders crushed their dreams there Sunday, and we had a front row seat for it, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I believe it was Farnham, or no, it was Jay Williams, I believe, on one of these dudes. I don't know who it was exactly. Anyway,
there's so many now. Used to be like, 8 maybe.
Right.
Like there's 40 guys.
It may have been Williams. Said that he kind of picked Buffalo as the potential upset of the day.
Wow.
And I was worried about the game. And so, Williams or whoever the guy was, he was talking about Buffalo and everything, and I understood that too. I mean, I was worried about that game as well. I saw what Buffalo did to Arizona State up close and personally. I watched most of that game and came away very, very impressed. Yeah. But Tech took care of business, and I got to say, in the first game against Northern Kentucky, I think Tech played a pretty good game in that first game. But against Buffalo, now Buffalo, let me tell you right now, was a team that would just torn Northern Kentucky apart. They would have. I mean, and no offense to Northern Kentucky, but Buffalo is legit. I don't care the fact that they were from the MAC. I don't care about the fact that they hadn't played hardly anybody all year. That I know a good basketball team when I see it.
Yeah.
I know a tough one, a quick one, and so they were a very, very formidable foe. And Tech just wiped them out. I mean, they played a better game against a better team in that second round and won by more. And it was a 20-point victory, and that was very much indicative of how Tech took that game over and just dominated. So it was extraordinarily impressive. Really, a 17.5 margin of victory on average for those two games. I mean, who wouldn't take that? And right now, Texas Tech, they could beat anybody. They can go all the way.
Absolutely, and they beat Buffalo by 20, but they beat them worse than the final score. I mean, they crushed them. There was a 10-minute period of the game, which is a quarter of the actual gameplay, where Buffalo didn't make a field goal. I think it's been well documented now. It was actual in real time, in real life. It was an hour. They went an hour without counting halftime, without making a field goal. And this is Buffalo, who scored, 85 points a game, which Tech held them to 27 points under that. That's unbelievable. That really is. 27, that's a lot. Heck, that's a half a scoring, in some Tech games. Some of their knockdown dragouts, you know what I mean? That's really impressive. look, Noren Sodiasi, I mean, the big man, he really set the tone. He had 9 rebounds in the first half. He ended up with a new program NCAA tournament single game record 15, and of course a new career high. I love the stat you noted in your Yeager shots that was the first double-double from Noren. He also had, I believe, 12 points. Either 12 or 14, I can't remember. 14. Oh, I had the stat sheet right in my hands. It was 14 points. Man, 14 points and 15 rebounds. First double-double since his first career game over 4 years ago. That's awesome,
Crazy,
you know.
yeah.
And because of his performance, this Sunday was not his last career game as a Red Raider. They are moving on to play Michigan next week. Oh, actually next week. In a couple days in Anaheim. Joe, just real quick, what's your thoughts on that matchup, the Red Raiders versus Michigan?
You know, at this point, you know, I think I'd take Tech against just about anybody, you know, really. And Michigan's good. But you don't get to this point without being really, really good. They've been a top 10 type ball club all year. Big Ten is stout this year. They went toe-to-toe with Michigan State, and I think maybe lost that series 1-2. They met in the Big 12 finals, I want to say, or the Big Ten finals. But yeah, I mean, look, Michigan is formidable. They're a defensive-oriented team and program, just like Texas Tech. They got a 7-footer named Teskey, John Teskey, who's a load inside. You know, they got some defensive stoppers, and they got some scorers. Poole is the guy who hit that shot to knock out Houston last year. They got a guy named really good. Charles Matthews is who it is. He's a player. They've got plenty of talent. There's no question about that. John Beeline is one heck of a coach. He's an underrated coach, I think. And he has some Tech history because he was the head coach of West Virginia with the Pitt Snoggles of West Virginia. And they took out Tech in the Sweet 16 back in 2005, I believe it was. So he's got something coming from Tech. You know, but it's I feel really good about this. I don't know, and Greenberg has said this as well, Seth Greenberg. He predicted that Tech and Michigan would meet up, and he said that he doesn't think that Michigan has enough shot makers to get it done against Texas Tech. And I would agree with that. I mean, Michigan's an okay offensive team, but you know, I think they're going to be in some serious trouble when they face this Texas Tech defense, and I like Tech's odds. Really.
So that game is Thursday, 8:40 approximately Central Time in Anaheim. We're looking forward to covering that. And then, hypothetically, if the Red Raiders were able to advance, they would play the winner of Gonzaga, the top seed, who I think we all know a lot about, and Florida State, who, I mean, hey, they're athletic. They're a really good team. Obviously, if you're in the Sweet 16, you're a pretty good team at this point. Especially this year, honestly, there's not a lot of Cinderellas. It's all powerhouses, you know, the best teams. So, really exciting to cover another Red Raider run here, and man, it was really exciting to have some of this fried chicken, to be honest. But Joe, I just want to say really appreciate your coverage all weekend in Tulsa. You and Double T Farmer really did a great job, and good stuff as always from you, Mighty Joe.
Thank you very much.
And thank y'all for watching.